Okay, so continue from where we stopped yesterday. Were you guys able to set up your were you guys able to set up your application, your project up to the point where you could create posts from the shell?
Yes, I was able to actually set up my application, but I haven't, tried creating posts on the shell yet, though.
Same here also. I have my something is set up, but I haven't gone back to the file since yesterday because there are some other stuff.
Okay, because what we're doing today, you need to have set that up. So we are going to test. I want you guys to test right now. So I can be sure you are going to follow.
Okay.
So who's with their laptop?
I am on my laptop, but I'm not watching through the laptop. I'm watching through my phone.
And you can't share a laptop. You can't share. Who can share their screen?
Fine.
Let me stop sharing. So for everyone else, let's just if your server is running, you can create another shell window and type in the python manage.py shell command so that we can play around with your class, your post objects.
Okay.
That.
Yeah, I thought you were going to share your screen so that we can actually see what you did from yesterday and just impute.
Yeah, I'll just do that.
Right.
Okay. So I'm still where I am. So let me just close this up. Yeah. So this is the command I'm running, python 3 -py shell. And then, okay. And then I'm going to import, just say, from blog the models, import post. So now I can create posts. I can say post, let me just say post the object. Let me assign it to a variable. Post the objects dot create. Let me look at my post models again. So we have author is equal to a title. Okay, mark counter. Then I don't want to complete it and say woman can do better.
You completed it already now, that's fine.
So content. Yeah, and yet. And then let me see. Created it is a category. Let's give it a category of what should we give it? Just say profession.
Carrie,
Yeah.
I'm running python manage.py shell. I don't think it's a Windows command because it's giving me an error. So I don't know if you can give us the Windows command for that.
For which one?
Python.
What error is it first?
It works. It's working here.
Oh, it's working on your Windows.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's working here.
Yeah, it's utility for Django. So that you're just it's utility for Django. So if you can run your server, you should be able to run this thing, as long as you have access to the manage.py file inside of the folder you are or the PWD you are.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wasn't that directory. Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Okay. And then let's just stop here. And let's look at posts. So you guys, yesterday when I was creating posts, I just like did posts. I did something like this. Okay, I did something like this. And then I put in all of the arguments I wanted to put. But like here, you can see I'm using this objects or create method. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So the difference is that this post the object or create is going to create the object and save it. But if you just do post and then you pass in the arguments like that, you're just like creating the class or like creating the object, but then it doesn't get saved to the DB if you don't do post or save. So that's like the difference between both of them.
Okay.
So just in case you are using this one, always remember to do the post.save or post.save.
All
Okay.
right.
So now this is post. Now we can have access to the attributes like that. So is everybody like, can everybody do this right now?
Yep. Well, we're working on it.
Okay. What you guys are just done, just like indicate in the chat
Okay, like just indicate, right?
that you are done. So remember yesterday we said that I told you I was going to show you how to render a template, like a HTML file to the front end.
Yes.
So like, because this is not very, it's not very what's the word? Say you want to create a standard template, like this is not going to be useful at all. So you need something more standard. But I want you guys to just like confirm that you can do what I'm doing here before we move on.
Yep.
Mendy, have you got?
No.
Okay.
Can I go back? Can I view your models, like your model rather? Is it possible?
You have your own model. Mendy. Where is your own model? Can't you view your model?
Actually, I actually didn't follow to this point. Don't mind. Actually, okay.
Peter, how far?
Same with me here. I didn't touch the file since yesterday because I was busy with something else.
Okay, so are you going to start all over?
No.
Me, I'm not starting.
I'm already working.
Just want to.
I'm already working
copy
through the
your
model, but
models.
I have no type through the model. So I'm going to just type in the model now.
Don't forget to like make migrations and migrate to your DB when you are done with creating your post or your whatever models you want to create. Okay, so you guys, I think you guys are like far away from where I am. So I'm just going to show you how to render a template. Please just follow through for now. So inside of your views, okay, before we even say inside of your views, let's first create a directory for keeping our templates. So like Django would look through your templates directory, like the templates subdirectory in each of the installed apps in your inside of your settings file. To look through each of the it will look through each of the templates directory inside of the application. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to create a template. We're going to create a template directory inside of this our blog application, just templates like that. And then we'll create a then we'll create an index file. Excuse me. Index.html. Okay, and let's just do an HTML5 file like that. My blog, that should be the title. And for the sake of simplicity, I'll just have an H1 tag here and then have my blog. Okay. So this is our template. So in order to like render this template, what we'll do is we'll import loader from Django.template. Sorry. So say from Django.template, import loader. And so instead of returning just what we have there, we're going to tell loader. So we're going to say our template is equal to loader.getTemplate. Then the name of our template, which is index.html. So we're going to return we're going to say template.render. So template.render takes in a context. The context there is usually a dictionary. Should I say it's a dictionary? So context is a dictionary that maps variables inside of your templates to Python objects. So, but we're not going to do that right now. We'll just give it an empty dictionary because context is usually just usually a dictionary. So we don't have any Python objects we want to send or map to our templates. So we'll just leave it empty for now, and then you just pass in requests because like you have to pass in the request object. That's like the way it is. Those are like the required arguments or parameters. So let's see. Let's go to our home view. Yes. Okay. Okay, so let me share my screen. So where's this? So we can see that it renders my template. I want you guys to be able to render a template. I want to make sure that like you are able to render a template. Are you able to do that?
Yeah, very, yeah.
Okay, so basically what this does is it loads the template called index.html and then it passes it a context, in our case an empty dictionary. And so like that just like loads that particular template. So we can do this, but then there is a shortcut for loading template. I mean, it's normal if you see this in someone's code is correct, but there's also like a shortcut for doing that. So we'll just clear all of this and we'll just have the render method there. So the render method takes in the request object and then the, what do you call it, the template you want to render. So instead of doing this, you just clear and you just do render, pass in the request objects, and then index.html. So like you can also still pass in a context. I mean, if you want to pass in, you see how useful context can be. So if you want to see, you can still pass in a context, but it's not like it's required. So that would still like, that would still like render your index.html file. Are you guys able to achieve this?
I perfectly understand.
Okay. What about
Yeah.
Peter? Are you
Following.
Okay.
I'm
great.
following.
Yeah, so now we can get away with putting our HTML files inside of our templates like this, like just directly inside our templates folder. But like it's not really a good idea to do that. So what is advisable is to namespace your templates. So instead of just doing templates, like creating the templates folder and then putting in your template, you can create a new folder and then call it the name of your app. So Django knows that anything that relates to like the blog app, any template relating to the blog app inside of this directory. So then we can move it here, move here, and then if we want to reference it, we just say blog/index.html. Because when Django is like, when Django is looking for templates to render, just look for the first template it finds. Any the first template that matches the name that was given to it is going to, that's what is going to be rendered. So, but then you might not be able to distinguish between the template for this application or that application. So the best thing to do is to namespace them. That way, you can be sure that all the templates related to just blog will be rendered in like will be all the templates relating to your application is what is going to be rendered. Okay, so that is that. Yeah. So now you guys have, if you have created your model and you've done migration, you can, instead of like going through the Python manager's PyShell method, you can use the Django admin. So let's do this here. Just get out of the shell. And then we want to use, in fact, let me show you what the Django admin looks like. Where is you? So if you go to /admin, you see this. So you need a username and a password in order to log in to the Django admin. That's why you need to run this command. Okay. So you need to run this command. Python manage.py, create super user, like this. Okay, I've pasted it in the chat. Sorry, let me just do Python 3 because I think I have like 2 and 3 installed. Okay, so now I'm just going to call my username admin, leave it blank, and then just call it something. Create a password for your super user. Did everybody do that?
Yes, actually.
Okay, were you able to create a super user
Yeah,
account?
yes.
So now let me just do a new share. So now you can use your login. Now you can see your Django admin. I don't know who's in. There's this coming from someone's side. Let me just mute. Okay. So Django automates the creation of admin interfaces for your models. So instead of going through the tedious work of creating admin sites for your staff or clients to use, you can just make use of this. So this admin site is not to be used by site visitors. It's supposed to be for like let's say your staff, members, or like the administrators the administrators of the site, something like that. So it's not for like a general view thing. So now that we've created our super user account, we cannot see something here. What can we not see? There's something we cannot see right now. We can see the tables that Django created. So like the users table. You can see the account you just created is here. But what about our post or our blog table? We can't see it here. So what we need to do is we need to register it on the admin dashboard. So what we do is we'll come inside of admin.py. Let me just share again. Okay. So we'll come inside of admin.py. Once we register a model, so we need to first import the model. Just say from .models, import the model you want to import, in our case, post. And then you say admin the register that model post. So by the time we go back to our admin dashboard, sorry. Okay, where did I write that? Okay, it should be admin.site, please. It should be admin.site. Let me show you my screen so you can see. It should be admin.site.register. Skip that. So if you are following, make sure you modify that. And then when you come back to your admin dashboard, you should now see your post model under this blog app. If you click on post, these are the two posts we created, what the man can do and how to be rich. So did you guys go through that? Can you see this? Can you see the post?
Yes.
Yeah, you can see that. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. So yeah. Okay, so I said yesterday that we should create a template for our blog application. Did anybody come up with a template for the blog site, the landing page at least? Okay, I guess not. So I want to modify this our templates. I have a small template I can use. So let me share my screen again. Where are you? Okay. So I don't want just my blog. Let me just leave like this first. Okay. Just copy and paste my templates. Okay. So this is the template we'll be using for now. Okay, so if you, this is the template we'll be using for now. So what we want to do, let me show you what my screen looks like. So we now have this is just what we have here. We don't have blog posts yet. So what we can do is, we do not just want to have static, we do not just want to have static data. We want to be able to fetch the posts, like our posts from the database. So I want us to I'm just going to delete all of these posts and create new ones. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. Why? All right. So I'm just going to add posts. You two on your end create posts. So let me just look for some posts. Okay. Um, Let me just have this one, and then I have this. So just like this, I'm just going to create a few more. Okay. Just add the last post. Okay. Yeah. So we have like 3 posts now. So we want our posts to be displayed on this our blog homepage. So what we'll just do is, let me start sharing this step. Okay, so inside of your views, we're already rendering our index.html templates. So now we want to send data, Python objects to our templates. And remember, I talked about context. So you can create a context dictionary here, and then you can send it just any Python object you want to. So what we want to send is posts. So for us to get our posts, do you remember what method we used to fetch all our posts from the database? Does anybody remember? Do you remember what we used to fetch data from the backend, from the database, I mean? Peter, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. All right.
Okay, so what do you remember? Okay.
No.
So where am I, Seth? Okay. Okay, so first we are going to use this let me just say post is equal to, first we have to import our post model from the models, import post, and then we're going to say post the objects dot all. So this is how you call or fetch all of your post objects, and then we can now pass these objects into our dictionary like this. So instead of putting this empty dictionary here, we can put our context dictionary. But does that work? Like when you reload your page, do you see any? Okay, let me come back here. Should be posts. Yeah. So when you reload your page, do you see any posts? Peter, are you there?
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything yet.
Okay, you can't see anything yet. That's because
Yes.
you only passed the post object to the template, but you've not made use of it inside of the template. So let me quickly copy this. Template here. I have a small template like that. So let me just use it here. Okay. So first, we want to first test if post is in, like if the post object was sent. So what we'll do, if you want to write Python code inside of this your template, what you do is let me do this here. You open curly braces like this, and then you put 2%, and then in between the percent sign or symbol, you can now write your code. So we want to know if post, like if there is a post, if the post object was sent. So we can say if post, then display this section, and then you have to end your if statement like this too, and say end if. like this. So if the post object is received, you are going to see this H2 blog post. So let's test that out first. So we can see it. So if it is not there, we can even add, sorry, I don't know, just show them style. So if it is not there, we can, or maybe we can bring this outside of here, and we want to always see the H2. So we can just put it here. So if posts, we want to write, we want this to show, posts goes here. Then you can even add an optional else and say else, then the else, no posts to display. So let's see if that works. So it means that the post objects were passed. So now let's show our posts on the page. So we have a list of posts. We have a list of post objects. If we want to display, or like we want to show each one of them, what do you think we should do? What do you think we should do if we want to show all of the posts that we have? It is a list, like a list of objects, of post objects. So if we want to show each of them, what do you think we should do?
If you're going to show each of them, you reference
What
them
did you say?
reference with their IDs, the post ID.
Okay.
Did you hear me? Yeah, unless
We
you want
want to
some.
show all of them. Yes, I can hear. Okay, so
Okay.
already when you are away, already we are passing a post, this post query set, we're passing it into the context, into the template. So we already have our posts. We use this method, post to objects or all, to fetch all of our posts. So we have posts and they're in a list. So how do we show each one of them? If you have a list of objects and you want to display each one of them, what should you use? Should you just put the entire list there, or you can look through them? So we can use a for loop here. So here, if post, then I'll remove this one and say, because I want to add a container for our, classes. So I'm just going to call it cards container. Okay. Cards container. And then I want a div for my card. Just this. So I'm going to call it, I'm going to add a class card to it so that I can have a nice style. Sorry, card. So we're now going to say, instead of this cards container, I'm going to say, always remember to put this curly braces, %%, then your code goes in there. So for posts, in posts, I want these, my cards, to be displayed. So my cards have, my posts, I mean, they each have attributes. So I want the title to be in an H3 like this. Yeah. So I want the title to be in an H3. So if you want to put in the title, you have to use, or you want to put in any attribute or any Python value, any variable, you have to put it inside of double braces like this. So if I want to access the title of my post, how do I access it? If I want to access the title of my post, so I have a post object and I want to access the title, how do I access it? Does anybody know? Okay, so we say post, excuse me, we say post dot title like this. So this is going to loop through, please, there's going to be an end for to signify where your for loop ends. So we say end for, just like this. So this is going to loop through each of the posts inside of this post query set is sent to it, is sent to the template, and then it's going to print out the post title in a H3 tag like that. So let's see what that does. Okay, so you can see that. Why do I have just 2 posts now? This is how to bridge. Oh, it should be for blog. Yes. Oh, I was creating it in the wrong. Okay, just go again. Okay, I don't have posts here, so I have to start creating posts again. Let me see. I don't want this post. Okay, let me just edit it because the content is whack. So yeah, nice. So let me edit this one. I want like 3 posts, so it looks nicer. Then I'm just going to add one more in this part here. Okay, what was that? Oh, all right. So we have the titles displaying, but we want more than the titles. So let's go back. We also want to show in a paragraph there. Let me see the author. We can also show the, okay, let me see if I can get a better sign. So I'll put this one inside of a div. So it looks neat.
We can't see what you're typing.
Oh, sorry, please. Let me just go back. Okay. So I just put these ones inside of a div, and then we have a paragraph to show the content. Post dot, what do you call it, content? Sorry. Content. Okay. So now we have this. Let me see my styles. Okay, no spam. Okay. All right. So let's look at what it looks like on our page. Okay. Nice. So now we can display our post for people to see now in the main page. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does actually. A lot of
Okay.
sense.
Peter, how far?
I like the fact that NFTs are there.
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay. Okay. All right. So now we're just going to we want to be able to view each of these posts separately. So when I click on this post, I want to be able to see just the post or details of the post in a separate page. So, but we can start by creating our a view for the details of each post. So let's go now. Do you guys remember how to create a view? So you just create a function view and just call it detail view. And then accept a
That's
request.
what you're typing.
Hey God, I'm sorry. Okay, so we're going to create a detail view. And then, so you know that right now we are going to be fetching just one post. So how can we identify a post? Because we just want to fetch a post. So how is Django going to know that, okay, we want to fetch post A or post B, post C? How can we differentiate them? Any ideas? Any ideas?
Isn't the index?
Okay, so yeah, I think you mean the ID. So
By
each
their
post
IDs, right? Okay.
yes. So each of the posts have an ID. Yes. So we can say we want to receive a post ID whenever. So if you want to get the detailed view of one post, we want to see a post ID. So we're now going to say post is equal to get one post, you use this method post.objects.get, and then you pass in the attributes you want to fetch with. So if you want to get the ID, you can say ID is equal to post ID. So then you now want to pass in. So you guys we don't have a detailed view template yet. So, but when we get a detailed view template, when we have a detailed template, we want to pass in the details of just that single post. So we can create a context that will contain the post, and then we'll pass in this post like this. And then we'll return request first, then which we will create very soon. So we'll just call it detail.html, and then we'll pass in our context just like this. So now let's create our detail.html inside of this blog folder. So we'll call it detail.html. I have a simple template we can use, so give me a second. Let me just copy that, because I knew you guys were not going to create a template. So something just said, old girl, better create your template. Thank God I created my template. What's now?
I guess that's why you started the class with what a guy can do. Ladies can do much better. That's fine.
Oh no. Let's not bring that one here, I beg. I said, you guys, what a teacher can do, what a student can do. What am I supposed to do? What a teacher can do, a student can do better. Don't say that. Miswinding me. Okay, so right now we can get our, let me see. Well, we can close this one up. Close you up. Okay, so now we're going to be, yeah. Okay, so we have the post object now. So I think I have some styles for, okay, no style. All right. So we want inside of our H2 tag, we want to have the post title. So double curly braces like this, post or title. So I want the author and the the dates of creation of the app. I want them to sit side by side. So I'm going to say post the author here. I'll use a span. Don't worry, I've started my span. So there'll be a small padding. Post dot, what do I call it again? Dates created, a bit. Oh, let me just check. Shy, who was opening admin now? Those apply. Created date. Like this. And then we want to have right underneath that, we want to have the content of the post. So just our post dot content. Yeah, cool. So we have one more thing to do. We need to be able to tell so let's say we want to fetch a blog post with ID 1. So we can just say, whenever we get something like slash blog /1, then we want to /blog /1, then we want to fetch the blog post with an ID of 1. So how do we tell that? So that inside of here we're already in /blog, if you remember. So what we're just going to do is we're going to do for this /1 like this. Okay, so we're going to say when we receive /blog because the IDs are going to be changing, so let's just call this a post ID. So because this ID is not static like blog, it's going to be changing. So when we see /blog something afterwards, like an ID, then we want it to show this view, which is the detail view. So we're going to also import the detail view and then just put it inside of here. You can also say what kind of data type you are expecting. You can say, okay, I'm expecting an integer or a string. So you can like define it right here. You get, so that's that. I think we have everything set up like this, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go and test again. So say I want, just reload that. So say I want post with ID of 1. I'll just do /1 like this, and then this is my detail view for blog 1. So let's say I change it to blog 2. You can see it's changing. It's going to show you content for or detail for blog post 3, and then if I do /3, it will show you for the third one. Okay. So did you guys get to this point, or are you following at least?
I'm following.
Yeah, I'm following.
Okay, cool. So now let's go, because now do we want our users to come and be pressing? Because now there's no way for us to access each of the content, each of the details of the blog. So do we want our users to come and pressing /1, /2? Do we want that?
No.
Definitely not. So what we can do is we can go back inside of our index. So like this is fine. Let's just close this up. We can go into our index.html. So me, I want to create a button for my posts, for my cards. So inside of here, let me just copy my button. So where's my button? Okay. So I'm just going to copy this button like this, paste it right under here. So I have a read more button, but I want this button to link somewhere. So I want it to link to /blog/ the ID. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an A tag. Okay. I'm going to add an A tag here.
Can't see your
and put my
BS
button
code.
inside of it. Oh, sorry. I don't know why I keep forgetting. Okay. You can see it now. So I'm going to add an A tag, just wrap it around an A tag and close this up. Okay. Okay. So, and I want it to link, or I want the href to be /blog/ but then we don't know the ID for, we know how we can get the ID for a particular post. Yeah, like this, post.id. So this post.id is going to be the ID of, of whichever post we are creating inside of this place. Yeah. So let's look at what our code looks like now on the browser. Okay, so reload. We now have a read more button. So when we click on this, it goes to /blog/1, and then it changes because of how we are looping through each of the posts. So it's the ID of each blog or of each post is attached to it. So when you click on this, just see block 3 like that. So this is like much more makes much more sense. All right. So but then we can let me stop sharing this place and go to my code. Okay. So then let's say inside of okay, so let's say we decide to change something inside of our URL. So we want our URL to be something like, let's say, detail/. So we've updated this our URL, and we want this URL to be. Remember, we've not changed the view. We still want it to render the detail view. So if excuse me. So if we do this, let's say we change this. Okay, apologies. So let's say we update our URL to be like this. If we had code, let's go into the template again. Let's say we've partially hard coded because the post ID is dynamic, but this /blog is not dynamic. It remains like that. So let's say we have this kind of URL in so many places or in so many instances inside of this template, and we've changed it inside the URLs. If we want to update the URLs, it means we'll have to go into each of those places or each of the instances of this link here and change it. So we'll have to change it to like /blog/ detail /post ID. And we'll have to do that for every single instance, which doesn't really make sense. Yeah. Okay, somebody's asking me for a copy of the HTML file at the end of the class. No way. Everybody do your own. I'm not giving anybody. Hey, please.
Because of the styling, the CSS styling at itself. So we can use that to practice too.
Hey, You guys have already done HTML and CSS class. I mean, now you should leave my
Yes,
style
but
alone. Do your style. Let me
please,
do my style.
please,
Okay,
please,
oh,
please, please,
you guys
please.
will still do your own from scratch.
Yeah, I
So,
know, but let's practice with your own
chill.
first.
Okay. So this one is making me laugh because don't worry, we'll talk about this at the end of the class. For now, let's finish this our hard-coded URL. So now, like I was saying, we do not want to have to start like repeat going around like looking for where we use the particular URL and changing it to the updated one. We can simply remember I told you how this name argument is useful. So this is how useful it can be now. So what you can just do is, instead of, you already gave it a name. So what you do is you just clean all of this up, and then you use this URL. You use this URL. I don't know what they call it. This URL. I think URL. I really don't know. So just use this URL. URL. So you want to say if you want to pass a particular URL. So you use this URL, then you pass in the URL you want to pass in. So the name of the URL. So you go to the URL page. The name is detail. So you just come here and you put detail like this. So now remember our URL is going to, this our URL conf is going to take in a post ID. So then you just say you just put in the post ID like this. You get. So anytime, if you like, change it to /g/ your URL is this, your the URL to this view is always going to be the same. Like it's just going to like keep updating it. So whatever you want to change it to, it's like a business. Most important thing is you're passing the post ID, and your view can receive the ID. I'm happy about that. So, okay. So back to where we were. Okay. So back to where we were. You see, the thing is, when you have like several applications in your project, if let's say you want to be able to differentiate which URL, so let's say you have a template here, let's say you have this template and you want to use a view from a different, application. Now, Django will not know which part. So let's say we have two views. Let's say we have app and we have detail view in another app. Let's call it a catalog app. So let's say you want to use a view from catalog app here. Django would, if you just do, let me see, where's my again? So if you just do this, Django is going to is not going to know which particular app it should, which particular app view it should render. So what you can do is you can add a namespace to your URL configuration. So that way you can now say which particular app you want to which particular app view you want to render. So how we do that is, inside of our URLs apply, you just do something called app name and then you give it the name of your app. So I'm just going to give it blog like this. And then inside of index.html file, and you put in front of your view or in front of the view you want, let's say the URL name, you have to put in the app name. So let's say we call blog. So to blog, and then the URL name like this. So if you from different application, you can now say, okay, your URL configuration, you can do that URLs of Py file, and that's the app name. Yeah, you just put it in front of it, semicolon, then the name. Then it knows, okay, it is this view I should render. But for now, we are still in blog, so let's stick with blog. Okay, so yeah. So let's go to our, let me see. Okay, let's go back to this page. So some users are very nosy. They just prefer to be playing around your, what's this one? Okay. blog/1 did not match. Oh, I did not update my URL file. So I can move the detail now. Okay. So let's say some users can be very, very nosy, like they'll just be snooping around your sites, and they'll be playing around with numbers. And when they just go to, let's say, they try to fetch a blog with an ID of 4, which we did not create, just get this weird page. Does not exist /blog/4, like it's weird. So what we can do is we can create a, let me not say a 4 page. Let's say we can create a message to 4 when a particular template is not found, or let's say when a particular let's say a particular URL does not match any of the patterns we have, or when a particular post is not found. So how do we do that? Okay, let me stop sharing this. Okay, so what we can do is inside of here, we can say, inside of here, we can say from Django.http import http 4, and then we can do something like this. So let me say, instead of this detail.view, we can do something like, we do a try accept. So you can say try post, like try to get a post with this ID. And then if we have an error, like an exception, that post does not exist, then we should raise an error. So we can do something like this. Then accept post does not exist. Then we can raise a HTTP 4 for error. So the only thing we want to say is post does not exist. Just like this. So let's try this out. Let's see what happens when we try this out. Okay, so it now gives you this 4 for error, and then the detail here is post does not exist, like we said. Yeah. So, but then there's also a shortcut. I mean, in Django, there's shortcuts to these things. So just remove this. I'll just say from shortcuts, import into comma get object or for like this. So you can just clear this out, try here. Okay. So we'll just say post is equal to, and remove this one. We just say get object of 404, and then get object of 404 takes in a model. So in our case, the post model. Then if you are going to be passing anything like you want to get the object by ID, you just say what you're passing by, and then you pass in your argument like that. So if he does not get, it tries to get this object with this ID. If he does not get the ID, it just automatically brings up a 404. So why Python, why Django does this is because why Django has this particular shortcut is because we don't want to like have or couple our models with our views. So instead of saying using that post that does not exist, it just has a method that you can just use inside of your view instead of calling that exception or raising that exception. So let me test that out first a bit. Let's test that out. Okay. Post reference with assignment. Check this out. ID support post ID, just like this. So why does it say that? I have my post now, yeah. Okay. Why does it say post? Just give me a second, let me check this out. Okay. Maybe I needed to reload. Okay. So no post matches given query. Yeah, needed to reload that one. So yeah, so we're still working. All right. So that's that. Okay. So now we've like looked at basically we've looked at how to render. Let's see your chat. Okay, Emmanuel is around. Emmanuel, how are you doing? Great. Okay. So now we've looked at how to create posts on our admin dashboard. You can create a super user. You can fetch data from your database and display it on your in a template for the user to see. You can fetch a particular object by its ID, and you can also display it. So what you guys are going to do for me is that excuse me, you're going to create your own blog page from scratch. So yours is going to look nicer than what I have. Like I want your blog post to be able to, I want your blog post to have pictures, to have like an image at least. Then it should have more content. you can even for like the for the cards, we have like there are short texts that you're going to just put on your cards. So you can have longer text. Then inside of your card, you can like just slice some of those texts and put inside of the card. So I want you to create your own blog app just like this. Have a nice landing page, like a really nice landing page. Create put your posts inside of cards like this, and then I should be able to click on a card of the card or of the post. So that's like what you guys are going to be doing for the weekend against next week. What else do I want you guys to do? You can even have have like display more content. So like our post just has the title, the author, the content, and yeah, that's all. So you can add more content. And what's this? So you can have more content, and okay, you can have more content in your own model. Add more attributes. Then think of any other method you would want your blog to have, or like your post to have. Add that. So that's what you guys are going to be doing. Let me see. Do you guys have any question for me?
Yes, a ton of questions actually. First of all, right?
No questions.
Come in.
What's going on?
Did you hear me?
No, Emmanuel is putting his hand on his head. Like, I'm sure if I close my eyes and open my eyes, he will do it. Yes, I can hear you.
I think I was holding that though. Anyways, okay, so is this supposed to be like
What did you say?
Is this supposed to be like stage 5 tax? That's one. And second of all,
if you want to,
what did you say?
you're going to determine the question you're asking me. Is it stage 5 question? Is it stage 5 assignment? Is that going to determine if you will do the assignment or not?
Is there an assignment?
Yes, an assignment.
What is the assignment?
Yes, now it's an assignment.
To do what? I just
the
joined
assignment
the class.
is for you to create your own blog, and you just joined the class. Who is speaking?
Please, Peter,
Please.
Like he left.
Yeah, I left about 10 minutes ago.
Peter, I did not just join the class.
I left about 10 minutes ago. I rejoined it now.
You left for a while.
Yes.
Okay. So the assignment, I'll still send it to the group chat. So the assignment is for you to create your own. Okay. So I'm saying that the assignment is for you to create your own blog. That is very nice. Your own post should have an image. Like you should have images. It's very, very nice. Like I really want a catchy background. Like styling should be very nice. Like if not, I'm just going to be. Let me not say what I want to say. So create your own landing page for your blog app. Yeah. Then you're going to have posts. Think about other attributes you want, like for your other methods.
Wow. Is it not to determine our promotion to stage 5?
So
Okay,
guys,
so let me come in here. Mandy, so let me ask the same question she asked. So if your trainer gives you an assignment and let's assume it is not for promotion, you won't do it.
We'll do it though.
of course, I would, of course, send me. I just
Good,
wanted to. I just wanted
good.
to.
Then do yours.
Please. Please, when is the deadline? When is the deadline?
No, it should. Okay, well, for the deadline, I guess I'll leave her to answer that. I think she's back on the call. So Karen, if you can hear me,
Yeah, sorry, I had.
yeah, go ahead. You're asking a question, so.
Okay. I'm listening to your question.
Okay, so
like when are we
yeah, go
supposed
ahead,
to,
Mandy.
when are we supposed to submit? When are we supposed to present it to you?
Submit on Monday now. You have the whole of the weekend. Submit on Monday. So I can grade you ASAP. So submit on Monday. The only thing you are doing is fetch data. I want a very nice landing page though. Fetch your data. Fetch your post. Display it on the landing page. When I click on any post, I want to see the content or the detail of that post. Your post should have image. If your post does not have image, don't submit it. Your post should have image. Then, and your design should be fine. You should have a detailed view. See, some of us are working professionals. And before, okay, you will not be able to submit on Monday. Is that what you're trying to say, Emmanuel? So why? But like you have like Saturday, Sunday, before Monday. Everybody's saying yes. So once you guys copy him. Okay, I can give it till on Tuesday. So Tuesday is fine, I guess. I believe. Tuesday, great. Okay, so let's do Tuesday. No, not Wednesday, Tuesday. If you have any challenges, like let me know so I can assist in any way I can. All right, guys. So let's do Tuesday. Tuesday is the deadline. So if you don't submit, then I mean you're the one delaying yourself now. So but just try to submit. And then if you don't submit, I'll be removing mark per late submission. Like if you don't submit after if you submit one day after the deadline, I'll just reduce 50 marks. Like it's okay. All right, guys. This should be all for today.
Wait, I was going to ask you, Peter asked a question earlier, like, what framework are you using? Is that Bootstrap or
No,
Materialize
I
CSS?
just that's not Bootstrap now. It's just ordinary CSS and HTML. There's no Bootstrap here.
Okay.
Can we get this HTML
Why
file
design
to practice?
fine.
To practice. This, yes. For now, we'll
If I
design
see
our
my
own
style,
HTML.
if I
We
see
can't
my
even
style
see
in your code, then
We can't even see it. We can't even see it. But let's just use it to practice a little bit. We'll design our own HTML when we want to. But to practice this blog one, then please.
okay, no problem. I'll send it to you guys. Man, I'm not APC, please. Okay.